Good morning, natural gas. It's Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And today for the March contract, we're up. We're currently trading at 342.30, up 11.2 cents or over 3.38%. What's going on? Well, the RSI is trying to turn higher. We got a brief, big bump up this morning. It was quiet as a mouse, but then something happened, and we're going to show it to you here. We got actually just a little bit above the 50% retracement here of this whole move, which came in at 3506. We got as high as 354.80. Let's take a look. And here it is. We've got a pipeline rupture near Holly Beach, Louisiana. This is in Cameron Parish. And this is potentially the Delphin LNG pipeline. Comes from offshore rig onshore for this proposed LNG facility offshore, and this potentially ruptured. Now, there's a bunch of pipelines in this area, and including ones that feed Halkashu Pass LNG. So let's take a look at the hourly chart. And as you can see, we've got that big bump up here on that bar, and the RSI is turning positive. We're well above the daily pivot, which came in today at 329.20. We got above first resistance. We came in at 341.60. Above that, 352. So we did exceed the second resistance level. So we're going to see if we consolidate around this 341.60. Again, tomorrow, we're expecting a record storage pull around minus 365 to minus 370 BCF, all-time record. But what's going on? We've got warmer weather coming through the midsection of February before potentially getting colder again. But it's just hints of cold at the back end of the model. Let's take a look at the front to back spread. And this is the Jan 27 versus April 26. This is the injection spread. Does it pay to put gas in the ground come April 1? And here's the spread currently right now down just about a penny one at 165, down 0.66%. The RSI looks like it's turning to the downside, which would indicate the market is anticipating colder weather coming through after the forecast period. And let's take a look at what's going on with the April through October strip. We did get briefly above that 360 value level. The RSI is trying to turn higher, which would also indicate a need for really strong injections in this season from April 1 through October. And of course, we'll talk about Europe. And here's the wind chill factor model. This is the GFS model, the global forecasting system model for the United States. And here's what we currently have today. Still cold across the Great Lakes, all the way back into the mid-Atlantic states and New England. We do get a brief warm up, but then potentially colder again. As we see, this is the February 15th period, and all the way down at the end of the forecast period, you can see that warmth spreading across the south from Texas all the way over to Florida and back up as high as Ohio here. So is the cold coming in through the western part? Is this a transition in how the cold will come down into the United States late February into March? We'll see. How about Europe? Well, this is that colder weather we're expecting here. Really cold Arctic weather coming in from Scandinavia into the Isles of England and Ireland, and of course, France, Germany, and Poland. This is going to keep storage down. And as you can see, we're below 40% across the EU. We're down below 30% in France, down to 29.5%, and Germany at 31.2. This is a 2-day lag, so be careful here. These numbers are even worse. What's going on? Well, the spreads between these states or countries have been positive. So therefore, France, which hasn't gotten a whole lot of cold weather, is pushing volumes to neighboring states where the cold weather has been. This makes the situation even worse as we get forward in the forecast period. And looking at Asia here, this is February 19th. Very cold Arctic temperatures coming in here. This is the end of the forecast period, but they do have some colder weather popping through the forecast period. As you can see, this is fairly cold weather popping through toward the 17th, and then really cold in the Koreas, Eastern China, and of course, Japan. Right now, currently though, it is fairly mild at this stage. They've got a brief cold snap here coming up on February the 6th, all the way through the 9th. And let's take a look at the EIA. This is the US nuclear fleet, and we're up to 4.1 gigawatts that are out. Why? Well, Turkey Point is now at 49.2% outage. And of course, VC Summer has all the way completely shut down, 100% out. That's in South Carolina. And Edwin Hatch is at 49.8%. So this is near the top of the 5-year average for US nuclear outages. And then we peak out in late March, early April, before we get the fleet ready again for summer. How about Golden Pass? Well, it's still taking a little bit of gas, hasn't really introduced the hazardous materials here into the cold end. So we're still not producing natural gas. We're at 13,163 MMBTUs that are scheduled to be delivered to the terminal. This is out of 2.6 BCF. We've got a long way to go. Hopefully, they'll get these things up and running here for first LNG in March. How about the oil and gas sector? These are stocks between $2 and $10 billion, have a high short float over 10%. Well, here's the 1-week performance. With the moves up here, we are slightly in the green here for CNX, up 5.88%. That's the Ohio-based producer, Appalachia. Magnolia up 3.44%. Northern Oil and Gas up 1.6%. And BKV, this is around Fort Worth, that Barnett Shale up 0.73%. So let's recap here again for the spot March natural gas contract. Currently, we are trading at $3.41, up 9.9 cents, or just below 3%. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.